Welcome back everyone to another episode of Vegetarian Cooking with JJ. I'm doing something a little bit different, enjoying the outdoors, a last bit of sunshine before we head on in and make some deliciousness in my kitchen. In this week's episode, I'm going to be making a very delicious vegan chicken pot pie. Pot pies are obviously very popular in England and in Britain in general. And be sure you stick around all the way through in this video to learn some surprising facts about pot pies. With this pot pie, I'm going to be sure that I make a nice flaky crust and the filling is going to be packed with flavor. I'm really excited to get started on this recipe and of course dive in and try it in the end. So without further ado, let's head on over down to my kitchen and get cooking! First of all, I'm dicing up half of a yellow onion. And I'm finely chopping some celery. Shave off some of the florets of broccoli. We'll be using a 1/4 cup's worth. I'm dicing up some baby rainbow carrots. We'll use a 1/4 cup's worth. I'm finally chopping a 1/2 cup's worth of cremini mushrooms. I'm dicing a 1/4 cup's worth of yellow bell pepper. And I'm mincing 4 cloves of garlic. Here I have a tablespoon of fresh thyme, a tablespoon of roughly chopped French tarragon, 2 teaspoons of fresh oregano, and 1/2 teaspoon of dried rosemary. Here's our mise en place. And I'll be using a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, a secret to an amazing flavor. I'm using the organic, better than bouillon veggie bouillon. You may find that it has quite a lot of salt, so you may not want to add any salt into the filling. But be sure to taste test it so you can adjust it to your taste. Here's a surprise for you. In 500 BCE, the Greeks actually made a similar savory pie, except theirs did not contain a pie top, and it was called artokrias. However, there may have been an earlier version dating back to ancient Egypt. Etchings were found in 2 moles depicting a similar type of pie. However, with this type of pie, it had grains and fruits in the mix, so it was sweet and savory. After the Greeks, the Romans decided to add a pie top. Savory pies started to spread throughout Europe during the Crusades and medieval times. And although the elaborate designs of the pie crust increased, they simply discarded the crust and ate the filling. By the time the 16th century arrived in England, the English were known for their pot pies. And it was even a status symbol. Those of an elevated class were served pot pies, a big contrast to how they're seen today. And by the way, back then, they were called coffins. And I don't have to explain why. Well, I'm making a cruelty-free version that can be enjoyed on so many levels. As pot pies made their way around the world, the crust was transitioning to become more flaky, so that people would actually eat it. By the time the Industrial Revolution came about, molds were being made, and pot pies were more commonplace. It really didn't matter what your status was. All that would change were the fillings, depending on what you could afford. Now, after World War II and going into the 1950s, the frozen varieties of pot pies made their way into stores. And this was because women were not just housewives anymore, but they also made their way into the workforce. I'm using our Gardein vegan chicken. You're welcome to use any other product that you prefer, such as your own homemade seitan or an other vegan chicken product. Feel free to share in the comments below what you choose. This one comes with a sauce, so I'm going to remove that and use that for another dish, such as a tofu dish or something like that. I also have some frozen peas I'm going to incorporate into this. I'm going to be using a ½ cup's worth. Our Dutch oven is hot on our stovetop and I'm adding some grapeseed oil. Get the oil hot, add in the diced onions. Add your diced carrots and minced celery. Allow the flavors to infuse. You can see the onions have softened up, so now I'm adding the mushrooms. Grind on some fresh black pepper. And I'm adding the dried rosemary. We're reserving the fresh herbs for later on. Mix it all up. Add your yellow bell pepper and your broccoli. Now I'm adding in the minced garlic. I've mixed 2 teaspoons of our Better Than Bouillon veggie bouillon to 2 cups of water. Now I'm adding the mixture into our Dutch oven. I'm adding a cup of our non-dairy milk. I'm using oat milk, but you can use whatever you prefer. Give it a nice mix, and we're going to reduce this liquid. I'm dusting some flour on our clean countertop so we can roll out the dough. I'm cutting our bowl of dough in half so that there's equal pieces. I've greased this pie plate with some earth balance and I'm carefully adding the dough on top. Trim around the edges. Roll out the top piece as well. Checking on the filling, you can see it's reduced quite a bit. Since it's almost done, I'm adding our vegan chicken from Gardein. Pop in your fresh herbs. Give it a nice stir. I'm adding our nutmeg now. I'm adding a little flour to get it thicker. Only add 1 tablespoon at a time. And I use 3 tablespoons. I'm using 3 strips from the spare dough and I'm braiding it. I formed this braid into a heart. Feel free to make your own design. Now we're adding the filling into the pie shell. You can use a spoon to even it out. I'm carefully adding the pie top. Be sure to trim around the edges. I'm adding the braided heart in the middle. I'm scoring the top of the pie crust 4 times. This is to allow it to vent. Now I'm crimping it around the edges. Instead of egg wash, I'm brushing the top with vegan milk. Pop this in the oven at 350 Fahrenheit for 30 minutes or until it's golden brown. It's that time again, everyone. I get to try our delicious vegan chicken pot pie without any animals flying out of it, of course. Here we go. I feel like I'm so relaxed with the first bite, like it's taken me to a whole other world. The nutmeg just adds a nice warmth to the flavors. The herbaceousness is wonderful. Beautiful combination. The rosemary, French tarragon, thyme. I just thought I'd let you know that I did not add any salt because there was enough salt with the Better Than Bouillon. It was not necessary to add any salt. For the filling, I did not have to add too much flour to thicken it up because we did reduce it quite a bit. I'm absolutely satisfied with this vegan chicken pot pie, and in my personal opinion, it's the best one I've ever tried. You definitely won't be throwing away this crust. It's so wonderful. So there you have it, everyone. Another delicious, comforting meal to add to your recipe booklets. And I'm gonna dub this one the best vegan chicken pot pie I've ever had. Feel free to share in the comments below if you've had other vegan pot pies. Which ones have been your favorite? If you've made your own, I'd be interested to hear about that. And of course, if you make this recipe, feel free to share in the comments below. Remember, if you like this video in any way, shape, or form, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel, and hit that little bell notification icon so you don't miss a single video. There's gonna be a new video popping up every Monday at 8 AM Eastern, so you don't wanna miss it. This is JJ signing off, keeping things interesting in my kitchen and in yours. Bon appetit.